Come on.
You got your little label to hold up yet? Ready?
Should I sing the national anthem in falsetto?
Sing the South
It's
African
cold,
national
it's wet,
anthem in
send money.
falsetto.
If you like coffee, the blanket fort blend from these guys is really, really good, and they send us free coffee. So order from them and let them know you heard about it here, please.
And you can get it custom ground because I got the blanket fort blend in the espresso grind, and it works really, really nicely in a drip machine.
Oh, it's delicious.
And just FYI,
The hell does that even say?
I don't know. It says Dragon Awards Cedar should be nominated for a cover.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Dragon
Let's make
Awards.
that go
It's
away.
backwards.
There, have you seen the Titan
Cedar
Mage
should
cover?
be nominated for a cover.
HP Holo's cover artist for the Titan Mage on point.
Yeah.
Well, you're every bit as good, if not better. So I'm in a grouchy mood today, so live
Yeah.
with it.
And
So
I'm
we'll
gonna
start
argue
with what few good things we have. Then we'll go to the rants, which will take the rest of the hour.
Don't forget to tell them who all's here.
On my right, we have Peter. On my
Oh.
left, we have Ian and Cedar
And Sanford.
and Sanford hiding across the table.
Sanford's usually peanut gallery.
Yeah.
Never
I'm just
guess
sitting
what.
here
I'm
because
grouchy.
It's a hard chair. It's more comfortable than the couchy things.
World's going to hell in a handbasket, and nobody gave me the steering wheel.
Wait, do hand baskets have steering wheels?
Mine should.
I was about to say Ian's would definitely. Have.
Yeah.
Ian, we're going to have to get a couple of poles, like pulling a riverboat, and whichever way you want to turn, the other guy slaps.
No,
it
I'll
into the
just I'll be
ground.
using the pole to beat idiots about the head and shoulders.
I would have thought would have a rudder or maybe flaps and ailerons.
Take off the rudder and beat people. So, what are we grateful for?
Well, Jonna made it to Siena in one piece and apparently is
Jonna.
enjoying it.
Yes,
We need more pictures.
Yeah.
yes, we do. We need pictures.
I want to see Don's drawings, but that's
Oh yes, Dawn's been posting. So
yeah. Good news is Ian finally got the conglomerate finally got the Africa files up in
Finally.
Kindle.
Finally.
Hey Freeman, Dan, everybody.
so now you can buy both the Law Dog files and the Africa files in paperback and ebook, and if you're really, really nice, both.
Yeah. Commerce
Yes.
Committed. Yes.
Audiobooks. I apparently cannot get my rights back for audiobooks. Not yet, anyway, because it's extremely complex involving the voice actor.
Yes.
And yeah, I haven't gotten paid for the audiobooks in years. Moving on.
The other thing is that Space Marines, the anthology from Raconteur Press, is, well, technically it's available now, but reality is it's supposed to be available on Friday.
It went ahead and dropped.
It dropped.
Oh,
damn.
Amazon was quick.
I wish Amazon would make up its mind.
Yeah, they do this every damn time.
It's always a surprise.
Yeah.
Gonna
It's
be
either-
early
Always a
or late, but
surprise.
it will come out, but it depends whether it's in this lifetime.
Yes. It's either going to be early. If I need it out early, it's going to be late. If late's okay, it's early. If I don't care, it's early.
And if you are writing a story for Space Marines 2, please keep in mind that you need to submit that by the 30th of this month.
Yeah.
In other words,
Wallbanger,
Mhm.
hurry up and fix it.
that's Sunday, isn't it? The last day. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, some days it takes 3 days, some days it takes 3 hours to
Yeah.
release. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when's Pirates of Malta coming out?
It's not.
Oh.
I'm done with the Malta stuff
Yep.
unless somebody waves a whole bunch of money at me, and that's apparently not happening.
Yeah, Falcons of Malta, the acceptances have been sent out and the contracts for that. So that project is moving on schedule.
You forgot
Okay,
I
so
can't even get a cup of coffee for that.
So for those of you that can't see what just happened, Sanford reached into his pocket, pulled out a handful of change.
And I can't even buy a cup of coffee for that.
To be fair, most of it was silver, but that
Now, if it had been silver, we'd have been fighting over it.
silver colored then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, something else that's fun, by the way, is that Cedar, having had 4 kittens to Foster now has just her one, and the other 3 went north.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are now plaguing the heck out of Sarah Hoyt and her husband Dan,
Yeah.
including hunting their toes under the blankets at 4 in the morning.
We still
And
get that.
They are kind of wondering why they bothered.
Kittens.
Yeah.
Kittens.
I know why I bothered. I wasn't given an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Pirates of Malta is actually a pretty good title.
He
Uh-oh.
said, yeah,
It's a good title. It's not an anthology.
he said parrots of Malta. Remember?
Yeah.
And Peter has some good news.
Well, it could have been.
The weight loss.
Oh yeah, I'm down 40 pounds, and the fasting diet is hell to do, but I'm keeping up with it. Long way to go, but 40 pounds is nothing to sneer at.
Yep.
Yes.
That's great news.
How about Pyrites of Malta?
No.
And I finished
You.
beta reading Dot's new book last night.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's good, and she leaves enough.
You annoyed the heck out of her by saying, "When's the next sequel? When's the sequel?"
She's got stuff hanging that she's got to finish in the next
Yeah,
book.
she's saying you're worse than her fans are. You know?
Well, I happen to know what she's also working on, so I would like for her to finish that before she comes back to this. And she will really, really hate it if she hears that.
She will hear
Folks,
it. I'll make sure she hears.
the Malta anthologies have run out of steam. Even with the Sarah and we're not getting much sales out of the Malta anthologies anymore. So
Malta for the anthologies was a really interesting setting,
mhm,
but they're very diffuse in terms of genre.
mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that they are an interesting thing, and you're certainly welcome to write stories set on Malta, just not planning on another Malta.
No, it's-
centric
it's
You have to
not-
broaden the base and build it up. You know, bricks and Malta.
Yeah.
No. I'm watching the metrics, and you can see Ghosts of Malta started good, and each one was a little lower, and it's not.
Which is also typical for
Yeah.
most series in
Well,
general.
And we could do one about bakeries of Malta. Call it Pirates of Malta.
No.
There you go.
No,
With a
No.
with a flowery turn of phrase. Yes.
No. It's going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
I think I hurt a brain cell.
So
So no,
you're down to the last 2 now. They're not
no,
talking.
last one.
Oh,
I had 2, now I got 1.
Yeah.
So the any more Malta anthology is no, not. It's not. We're not going to get a decent return. Maybe sometime in the future, but
Yeah,
not now.
I think more thematic. I have a feeling that the Space Marines anthologies will do very well. And I think that kind of thing has a market that's got legs above and beyond just fans of Raconteur Press.
Right.
It has the possibility to expand beyond that, and that's what we need.
Yeah, but I
Well,
must
the
say, you know,
Warhammer 40K and
No.
the Bay and both.
but I must say, looking on from the outside and having been publishing my own stuff now, a decade,
yeah.
I am really, really impressed with the way Raconteur Press has taken off. You've done a great job.
Yes.
At the moment, it's all anthologies and not solo stuff, but that's coming. And I think that if
We-
you build on this foundation, you've got a very bright future.
We've
ahead.
got to branch out. Anthologies are fun and anthologies are good, and we're getting a lot of people.
Published.
I
that are
don't
already.
want to say exposure, but published,
Mhm.
and people are getting a taste of being a published author.
Mhm.
Anthologies don't pay the bills in a company.
No. And what I'm seeing is that we're basically recreating the pulp magazines.
Yeah.
I had posted a literal photograph out of a book I was reading called The Dime Detectives. And the first part of the book is talking about the pulp magazines, and they were being read by almost 1 million people. So we aren't going to have that kind of exposure.
Yeah,
No.
We aren't going to have that kind of exposure. The market's too fractured at this point for
Well, there are too
anyone-
many options.
right, exactly. So what we have to do is to figure out what we can do that will bring in a larger fan base, but also we're going to have to diversify out into not just this, but other things as well.
Yeah,
But
but
long,
there's
slow
no reason why
process.
you can't launch an ebook pulp type monthly ebook magazine.
Ben Yellow sat me down because he is so thrilled about what we're doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That man loved the pulp magazines,
Yeah.
and he loves what he's apparently bought a large number of our.
Yeah.
He told me that we're recreating the old pulp,
Yes.
and we are, and I'm just tickled pink about that.
So pulp, the reason pulp was because pulp paper
Pulp
Yeah.
paper,
was
yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
Electrons are cheap. So that's what we're doing is the equivalent of pulp paper
Yeah.
because our primary market is ebooks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Electrons are very cheap, not free as we've dealt with dealing with delivery fees through Amazon, but the next pulp is electrons, and that's where we're at.
Explain
Yes,
why Ben's so
Raptor.
pink.
Okay,
That is one of the things
I'm
that's coming.
getting several of the same same question. We are going to move into publishing single author novels, but not until 2024 at the earliest. We've got to get 2023 out of the way.
And you would have stopped agreeing to do anthology.
Well, what we're doing
I've been really
right
good
now,
last couple of
yeah, what
times,
we're doing right now is developing the process and the infrastructure.
and we're setting a foundation.
And you've got to stop giving Ben Yellow palpitations.
No. I don't know if Ben listens to this, but
Oh,
Speaking of which, Ben will be up here next weekend. So
yes, he will.
excellent.
This coming one or the
I
Next
just had
weekend.
the most horrid kinky visual.
Oh no.
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 Moving on. Moving on.
The rails. Let's stay on them.
Moving on.
when does this group ever stay on the road?
They don't, but we need to find some with a quickness. I'm gonna sit here.
Speaking of good news and projects that I'm delighted to be working on, Mikado is working with his brother's widow to publish his brother's book that he had helped him finish just before his passing, or he'd finished after his passing after talking to him. And I am very, very happy that I was able to help them with cover on that. And it'll be a Western and available before too long, I believe.
good.
So watch this space. And I just think that's a sweet project because being able to take something that somebody else wasn't able to publish before they passed,
Yeah.
and make sure that it can be out there in the world so people can read it and so it can benefit his widow. So,
Well, there's a. I'm totally spacing on the name of the novel. A gentleman in Utah, Zachary Hill,
yes.
wrote a very good book.
Sakura is the novel.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yes.
And died before he could publish it. And
I actually never finished it.
Yeah.
a whole bunch of people got together and published it
Made that
and or
happen.
finished it.
Yeah.
And I heard about that. I jumped in line to buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was quite 40 yet. And he had either 2 or 3 little children and a widow that was just not prepared to have very suddenly lost her husband. So that was a wonderful
no one's ever
thing.
prepared for that.
No,
Some
but
are more-
when
considering
they're
where I
that
work now.
young.
Where I work now, some are more prepared than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And RK just said the title is The Long Tall Stranger by L.R. Smith,
Yes.
and it will be out as soon as they finish cleaning it up. So,
And I saw the cover when Cedar made
Yeah.
it. I was starting to say, "Can we get that?"
well, let's see what the cover looks like.
I'll pull it up. I've got it.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you
Oh,
done
Kelly's on here. Say hi to Kelly.
showed
Kelly showed up. Remind him to check in so he know he's not dead. Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
yet? Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Like I said, I saw that cover and went, "Can we get that?"
Yeah.
Didn't know it's her doing a cover.
And I wanted a classic Western cover.
Yeah.
You got one. It's very good.
So,
And this is why you deserve a Dragon nomination.
Yeah.
It'll be the first Dragon nomination she's had a work on
I might
Hugo
I've
nomination.
had
Yeah.
my cover on a Dragon nominated book before.
Kelly, don't start.
What's he saying?
Pant, pant, pant. Why can't I breathe? Don't start.
Kelly.
I happen to know for a fact that you're currently at work, probably surrounded by EMTs and paramedics. Yes, he went to work.
Yeah.
Wasn't he supposed to be
Ooh,
on
that
bed-
was a mom look.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a mom look.
Wasn't he supposed to be on bed rest this week?
Yeah.
This is a
Next
fact.
time,
This
next
is a
time I
fascinating little
see
mechanism.
him, I will not be as gentle as I was the last time.
Yeah, that's true. That is the safest place he could be.
No, I know Kelly. No, I know Kelly. He will order them, and they'll go, "Yes, sensei," and they
Yeah.
won't. And they'll order them not do anything. Yes, senpai, and they won't do anything.
We
I
can't
think
say
sensei is better than senpai.
we can't
I was
say
thinking
anything.
something else, but
We can't say anything. There's not a man at this table that wouldn't be doing the same damn thing.
Oh, hush up.
I don't know about that.
Oh, hush up.
However, Kelly, if you find yourself short of anything, I'll tell them to insert something in your fallopian tube.
yeah.
Bits he ain't got.
He will have by the time they finish with it.
So first you're going to have them insert
The
fallopian
ethics
tubes.
committee would like a word.
Yes. There goes your funding.
Yeah.
Ethics committee, line 2.
I failed biology, but yes, Razorfist got his Western comic crowdfunded in 3 hours.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Oh, Murder Kitten's on here. Hey, Murder Kitten.
Hey there.
Hey, sweetheart. Long time no see.
Have you been, Murder Kitten, have you been following the saga of Sarah and her kittens? I'm sure you're enjoying it.
Kelly Grayson, I just sent my rookie partner to inventory all the fallopian tubes on the rig. Oh,
Yeah, we
Kelly.
miss you too, Murder Kitten.
Yes, we do.
When are you coming down again? We need to see you again.
Yeah.
Bring that husband of yours with you. We like him too.
Well,
Oh, I do have a rant, so screw it.
I've got several.
I was fending those off at least for a little while.
Nice try.
Jonna's not here. I have to do my bit.
Yeah, after we get pregnant. Okay.
Murder Kitten
Murder
is
Kitten.
working very hard right now at getting pregnant.
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, I would say, is there anything we can do to help?
honey, as long as people are working to get pregnant,
No.
You have 4 males eager to help you, Murder Kitten. Ian, I could light a cigarette off his cheeks. Or something.
That is an interesting
Moving on
shade
to
of
rants.
red.
Moving on to rants.
Yes.
Oh, and Ian is broke.
Yeah, done, done. Moving on to rants.
It's
Oh,
somewhere down there. He's lost his Tinker
Marbles.
Toys.
Marbles, apparently.
wrong platform for those kind of statements. You think?
okay. Ian and Tick. I don't want to know about Ian's Tinker Toys.
Anyway, I posted today about Grant Holmes' statement she made in front of Congress that the military needs to have all of their support vehicles be electric by 2030.
It wasn't their support vehicles, it was all the
Yeah.
vehicles. M1 tanks included.
I want to see, pardon the expression, I want to see a fucking M1 tank electrified. And I want to see how far that son of a bitch will go.
Yeah.
No.
You know,
At
when you
77 fucking tons.
My money is on about half a mile, then it'll need a generator.
I want to
When
see
you
it.
say
I wanna
tank electrified, I have an image of a hand reaching out towards the metal.
I just, okay. Back when I was wearing a salad suit.
Yeah, here we go.
I want to see an F-35 electrified.
Back when I was
Don't give me any fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Pardon my French.
back when I was wearing a salad suit, we had what was called RTEP, Army Training and Evaluation Program. They're basically a series of tests that you had to pass
4
Yes.
days of hell.
anywhere from 4 days to 2 weeks, and you had to match certain metrics. And on cavalry, especially armored cavalry, one of the metrics you had to, and I don't remember, it's been, I don't know how many years, way too many years since I've actually commanded an M3. But as I seem to remember, and from start to finish, you had to be able to, all your crews on a 4-track platoon had to conduct refueling in under 15 minutes. Because everybody needs fuel. And you need to get done and get gone so the next person starving for fuel can get in there.
And so that the Russians who are coming over the hill won't catch you. Refuel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can get back in the fight, kicking scum sucking Siberian snow pimps in the dick. I do not
Oh,
understand.
what is the military etymology of that last phrase?
I do not understand how the hell you're going to recharge a platoon of anything in 15 minutes. Last I checked, charging was an hours thing.
Yeah, and that's assuming you have electricity handy, which in most parts of the third world and the places they would be fighting doesn't.
So the Bradley would carry its own generator on its rear deck and run that in combat.
So
Yeah.
why pull the engine to begin with? Plus, it's obvious Madam Secretary doesn't know a damn thing about military maintenance.
Yeah.
Um,
Shit.
because the thing about the current batteries we use to power these little watermelon flights of fancy is that if you get water into them, you have tank flambe.
Yes.
And military maintenance and the way your 19-year-old driver drives a anything, they can high center Humvee. They are going to crack battery cases left,
Oh, yeah.
right, and center.
Oh yeah.
No, even more dangerous than that, the E4 Mafia is going to recharge their cell phones, their music players, their video cameras, and by the time that they've all done that, the tank will be out of fuel or out of charge.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm here to tell you that if I had an electric M3, I would be running a microwave and a hot pot and a coffee maker off of it.
Yeah.
Not that you weren't anyway out of a gasoline.
But
Something about welding a coffee pot to the frame.
yes, or allegedly, as a creative articulation, we might have welded a coffee pot. Anyway,
Yeah.
so and
Sean, that's a good question. 20 to 80% using a supercharger. Where are those located in the middle of Afghanistan or Iraq
but it's
or
okay.
Africa, anywhere?
And
For
you know,
that matter, France.
and here I am in an M3 Bradley, and
France is one of the few sane nations that still does nuclear at
Yeah.
least.
at least, but I can't imagine tearing arse across the Sahara Desert or the empty quarter or where the hell ever patch of bush we're fighting over next, and it being 110 degrees in the day and
In the
20
shade.
degrees and 20 degrees at night.
Yeah.
Which does really interesting things to
Anything electronic.
batteries.
Didn't we just abandon a bunch of Americans in the Sudan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all the
Somewhere
other na-
around 14,000.
all the other nations in Europe are getting their people out with their armed forces.
Yeah.
We're sitting there saying, "Oh, we can't do that. It's too
Well,
dangerous."
It's too dangerous. Yeah, right.
We have a certain precedent for leaving people hanging.
Yes.
And for the Frank, it's not just this administration. I have posted on Facebook multiple times about how we got left hanging by the State Department. So this one's just particularly egregious at it.
Yeah.
But when the hell did checking boxes take precedent over winning wars?
This administration.
I don't give a shit about the pygmies in Outer Grostarkia.
Try South Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
About the pygmies in South Grostarkia or the ozone layer or how warm SUV exhaust is making Mars. I gives nay damn when it comes to fighting. If we have to glass the desert and bring on climate change to win a war, glass the desert.
Yeah,
Wait,
understood, Padre.
There should not be anything over killing people and breaking their shit. Everything else should be a low 10th on that.
Yeah, certainly for the military, you're quite right.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
what I'm talking about.
the
Military. It
mili-
should
militaries do not exist for nation building.
no.
They
You
exist-
kill
They don't
people.
exist for nation building. They do not exist as a police force, although that's what they've been used for quite a bit.
and they're lousy at it because it's not what they're designed to do.
I mean, look at what happened in Haiti. You know, they sent the army in to be the police force in Haiti. How well did that work?
It shouldn't.
It didn't, and it shouldn't.
And I am firmly,
Excuse me,
I'm a
Stanley, got
constitutionalist.
restricted.
I am firmly of the opinion that we should not have any boots on the ground, official boots on the ground, without a signed declaration of war from Congress.
Yep.
And then once we have a signed declaration of war from Congress, we break their shit and kill their people until they get tired.
No, until our war aims are achieved, and the declaration of war must state those two.
Yeah.
Like we are doing this because of ABC. Once ABC is achieved,
I
it
don't
stops.
I don't care. It's
Yeah.
we kill their people, we break their shit until they get tired and give up.
Yep.
Mm.
And sadly, that's as Richard said, that's the old ROE, which strangely enough, ROE did not actually exist until formally codified until the 1980s. John, that's good that you finally got your solar system turned on. We'll see how well it works.
Now, what
You
we-
have a solar system outside of ours?
Yeah, no, it's
now,
He's
what-
a
solar
si-
collectors.
Yes.
now, the US in intervention stuff now, it's a bit like the mouse that roared. Let's declare war on America so that they give us enough aid to
Yeah.
get us out of the mess we're in.
The mouse, yes.
And that's another rant, which
And-
is
I am considerably more wise and bloodthirsty and experienced than a lot of the idiots running our so-called government. I completely understand that nothing is black and white. It's all gray. I completely understand why we're in Ukraine, and as long as we keep doing what we're doing, it's a good idea. But we don't. We don't have mission creep in the U.S. military or the U.S. government. We have mission sprint. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. Give the troops an aim, get out of their way, let them get it done. Send the State Department and say, are you done yet? And if the bodies say they're not done yet, kill them again. Until they say, we're done, we want to be peaceful. Move on. And then you pull the troops out and it's done. Mushrooms. Kept in the dark, fed full of shit.
yeah. That'd be us.
Well, the other thing you can do is go down to the Department of Transportation in every state and get them to start printing signs. Property of the United States, and then post them.
Well, it depends on where you call property and what you call property.
I got in trouble the other day for calling Bud Light tranny fluid, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it?
No, it is not.
My squirrels are
It's horse
sprinting.
piss, and
It's water filtered through a horse's kidneys.
Yeah.
My squirrels are currently doing laps inside my brain, so I'm probably doing non
yeah.
sequiturs.
Mikado raised a good point. How do you heat or AC an electric vehicle? Well, if you heat it, especially in the cold, that's going to draw your battery down significantly. If you try to air condition it, that's also going to draw your battery down significantly because that requires an external source.
I don't care about that part because every M3 I was in didn't have a heater or a cab heater or an air conditioning.
Well, it was supposed to have a cab heater.
We had 14 of them stuffed in.
You had lousy thieves.
No, we had 14 of them, but whenever I drew my track and went to the field, I'd have a heater for about 3.2 seconds. Then we had to go back to maintenance so my thieving E4s could go get one of the spare cab heaters they stole
it actually worked.
and install it so I get back to the field problem.
Yeah.
We never had. Maybe M113 heaters were more robust. You took 4 of them with you, and you managed through the average field problem.
Yeah.
Our TOE called for 3 spare cab heaters. When we were having change of command, Sergeant, I got tasked with going through and checking the receipts in supply, and we had 14 extra cab heaters. I went to the supply sergeant or the assistant supply E4. I said, "Why the hell do we have 14?"
Yeah.
He said, and I quote, "You like freezing your nuts off, Sarge?" I went, "Point."
Yeah, Rick, I would be interested to know how far your hybrid 150 can go just on the electric. Granted, you got a 30-gallon gas tank, but how far can it really go on hybrid power, on a battery power?
And just this all electric.
Jennifer raises a good point. We need the battery to make the battery be a battery, so we can have the battery to work to make the battery to be a battery. So yeah, and infinitum.
Yeah.
So where I grew up,
Yeah,
we
and
would
Rick
have-
says it's about 3 miles.
where I grew up, we would have cold snaps where a regular internal combustion engine required the external assistance of, we did not have electricity. So my dad
Block
used
heaters.
a weed burner
Yeah.
with a curved pipe tube. And you had to be careful how you controlled the weed burner because my uncles torched at least 2 vehicles that I'm aware of by having turned up the weed burner too much.
Yeah.
And once you got your engine thawed out sufficiently, you could actually start it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then when you took off and drove, the wheels had frozen flat on one side. So you went thunk-a-da, thunk-a-da, thunk-a-da
Oh yeah.
until the wheels thawed.
Well, and you go to any military base in a high latitude or low latitude, depending,
Hmm.
north or south, they never shut them down in the winter.
Mm.
You can't. You can't get them started again
Yeah.
because diesel jellies.
Jet fuel will jelly.
Hmm.
We actually had to, when we were flying out of Thule, take the big propane heaters, run them in the main gear wells,
Hmm.
the nose gear well, and the hydraulic service center, and let them run for about 2 hours to warm the airplane up enough where A, the fuel would work, and B, we could actually flip switches without breaking the switches off.
Hmm. Because metal will shear at that temperature. And I mean, granted that Tok was the coldest place in the world south of the Arctic Circle, at least that we're aware of, since there's probably places in Siberia where nobody's bothering with the temperatures.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are the kinds of places that people that are proposing this sort of thing have never been,
Yeah.
have no conception of, and are not prepared for having to fight war or anything else in those kinds of places.
Well, of course they are. They'll just call the chauffeur to bring it around.
Well, there's a meme going around saying, why do I live where the air freezes my face? And then spider. Jellied fuel, block heaters, and metal sharing is why I don't live where the air hurts my face.
Yeah.
I don't have
Well,
to.
that has happened around here a couple times in the last 2 years. But
No kidding.
that's
Yeah.
for a short period of time.
Damn global warming.
One of the fun things about Alaska, down here you occasionally see a car with a gasoline pump hanging out
Yeah.
of the tank and the pipe trailing behind it
Mhm.
because it drove off. In Alaska, I've seen several vehicles with a hood trailing a long black electric wire
Yeah.
where they drove off without unplugging the block heater.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have electricity. That's why we didn't use a block heater.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan, you are correct. They did lose a mobile nuke launcher or 2 in Siberia during the Cold War. Yeah, because they literally broke.
Well, and to go to the other extreme, and something that Ian and Peter are more experienced with, my friend Carolyn has been posting on Facebook because she's living in Chad right now.
Mhm.
And
Why?
Carolyn does interesting things in interesting places.
Yeah.
That's not an interesting place. That's a ghastly place.
Well, she talks about the fact that she'll go and she's wearing this long cotton, like it's like a dress. I'm sure there's a word for it, and I don't know. But she would get it wet and then lay down under the fan on top of her bed. And because the fabric cooled, it would enable her to sleep because it's like 120 degrees.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
And that will also do weird things. I'm not familiar with that extreme. You guys are. but-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we had some fun. We captured a SAM-8 system in Angola back in 1987. I was one of those who helped haul it out of the country. We borrowed some captured T-55 tanks and hauled it through the bush. It was quite fun. Bundu bashing in T-55s, it's a sport. But so the fun part with that was, of course, that the SAM systems were all equipped to function in a European war.
Not.
With snow,
Yeah.
ice, etc. They were not quite so successful in 120 degrees equatorial Africa.
Yep.
And we had a lot of fun trying to get the electronics to switch on and things until they told us, stop doing that. We'll do that when we get it back to base.
Yeah.
Where they did manage to get out most of the secrets of
That's
thing.
because there's some fungus, apparently unknown to science, that eats rubber seals.
Yeah.
Yes, we learned that one the hard way. Yeah.
Amanda makes a good point. Send them to the North Alaskan wilderness for a month. If they survive, live long enough to come back, send them to Louisiana swamps for another month.
Oh,
and
no.
ask them how they feel about
No.
it.
This is what they did to Sanford when
No.
he was in the army.
No. What you need to do is go to Warri, Nigeria for a year
Yep. No,
with your electric vehicle, with the fungus eating any rubber seals on there, any polymer seals. You got fungus eating them. And then you've got the wet,
Yep.
the rainy season, when you are waist deep in water for 4 months.
Yep, the worry will do fine on the other side of the equator, drop into equatorial Angola or the Congo.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Mhm.
Just, yeah, you'll learn an awful lot there, including a vastly increased range of profanity.
Send them to the Everglades so they can feed the gators. Yeah, that works too.
Mhm.
I got daft and went looking on Facebook, or not Facebook, on Google Maps, at Warri,
Yeah,
and Warri's gotten huge.
I
but
remember when you did that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I was doing it last night.
Yeah.
And it's gotten huge, and they've actually got the where you drag you hang the little dude and drop him,
Yeah.
and you've got street views.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was
They were paved.
not worth a damn.
Yeah.
The Odebo estates where we live are still there, for God's sake. The Odebo estates are still there.
Did you see your old house?
No, because the gates were shut when Google went by. But I was looking at satellite photos, and the old airport runway still there.
Is
But-
is Bob the Not Russian hanging around?
Well, there's no crash. It was odd because there's no crash planes on the at the end of it, and it's surrounded by houses. It's like, the hell did those come from?
Yeah, I still remember Jim's astonishment when he went off to Africa some years ago. And I told him to look for this wreck here and that wreck there, this wrecked MiG off the runway there. He came back looking at me wide-eyed, said, "It's still there. They haven't cleaned it up."
Well,
That's Africa.
the Sedco, the Sedco site that my father hacked out of the jungle is a urban development now.
Yeah.
The island in the Warri River where we turned squeaks loose, and where we dumped the electric catfish into the river because friggin' Department of Agriculture wouldn't let us bring them into the country.
I'm
Is
sure the natives love you for that.
oh they
No,
they-
but they were trying to keep the invasives out of America.
the natives will not touch electric catfish are pink.
Yeah.
And if they get a pink looking catfish, the natives will drop whatever they're fishing with and run, because those electric catfish will
They
bite.
bite.
They have ways and means of letting you know that they are displeased with
Yes, we had them in a bucket on the veranda, and we would go by once a week and drop a handful of earthworms in there, and he'd light up the earthworms and get to eating. And then every time we fired a night watch for being a thief and bastard, we'd hire another one. The first thing he'd do is go after Electro, and about 2 a.m, hear this scream. Daddy go out and wave his finger.
you.
Get your ass, go back to sleep in the chair.
Yeah.
Yes. On the other hand, you didn't set a rattle loose on them, so there is that.
That you know of.
You mean there are more Lord Up files coming?
And there are several Africa files I'm not going to
The statute of limitations has not yet run out.
I don't need to get hanged for being a racist bastard, because they'll do it to me.
The accent is back.
Yes.
No.
We know you.
No.
Get Lord Dog Files Volume 3.
Oh no, that's happening.
We're actually looking at Law Dogs File Volume 3, but I'm just not sure what we're going to put in it. I'm told we have enough.
I think you just nominated a few stories right
Yes.
now.
No.
You can always make them about some fictitious character whom you happen to know there.
Yeah.
But I hear this happened to
SPLC will stick me on a different watch list.
Are you collecting those?
Watch list? Yes. But not the fun ones.
I think
Okay.
we're all on way too many watch lists.
Do we know anybody that's associated with North Texas Troublemakers that isn't on a watch list?
No.
And if
Speaking
they're only on a
of,
single one, they're not trying hard enough.
speaking of watch lists
Who's
and people
trying?
who are suspicious and all that, something that I'm hearing more and more through the grapevine, and I'd like to know if any of you can contribute to this. I'm hearing Special Forces has been losing good people hand over fist for the last 2 years.
Yes.
Because of political commissars who are vetting everybody. And
Started
not just that, but they're actually hiring new folks and putting them through the training who are straight out psychopath left wingers
Mm.
and who are
Okay.
guaranteed to shoot at anyone the government tells them to.
Not in the Navy.
you should
But
have you should
they
have
are
asked.
they are losing SEALs, yes.
You should have asked. Special Forces. What the hell was that fuck nuggets? That General fuck nuggets name?
Not
Miley?
Oh, the
Crystal?
Army guy. Yeah.
Not Crystal.
No, he was the one that he took over Special Forces training.
Oh.
The one,
Oh,
I
the one
wouldn't
who
know.
wanted to pass women through all of these.
Right.
Yeah.
He instituted several changes to Special Forces qualification course. One of which was in order to speed them through because during the War on Terror, military commanders in the field were using Special Forces to do things that infantry should have done.
Yeah.
Because they I don't know if it was they were too fond of their kids or if they were too scared of liability. But what was that General Fuck Nuggets name? I sent him hate mail. Anyway, he instituted several changes and there's no more vetting of Special Forces candidates, not like used to be done.
Padre, specifically Special Forces.
Army Special Forces, yes, massive problems.
When you say vetting, you're talking about personality and security and so on, or physical?
Personality and security.
Okay.
Used to be, Special Force training takes a minimum of a year, and over that year, you got watched.
Yeah.
And if you were Michael Yon, you got bounced because you were daft and you did not fit.
Mhm.
So they bounced you with a quickness. They're not doing that anymore at Fuck Nuggets instigation. Languages are no longer
Required.
It's used to be you had to have a
language.
foreign language to get through qualification, and you don't have that. Is now it's done at unit level, which is bullshit. Also, they're not the actual MOS classes have been cut way back because they were taking too long, and they needed more troops they need more Special Forces on the ground faster.
Okay. Have you seen what they're doing to military pilots, by the way?
If they're cutting back the classes, then they are putting more Special Forces troops on the ground.
They are graduating more people who don't deserve the title.
Yeah.
Brian came up with a name. Buprayer.
No, not him.
Yeah, but what they're doing on military pilots now, and this has hit Task and Purpose and a few other sites. They initially, if you graduated West Point or something like that, you had a service obligation of 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, whatever.
7 years.
Depending on the branch you went into. Military aviators were always told that their aviation training counted against that obligation. They are now being told, no, you have to serve an extra 2 to 3 years because that's how long it took us to train you, and that's over and above your previously defined minimum term of service. And this is without anyone's agreement or anything explicit in writing. What they're doing is they're putting in separation papers and being told, nope, you've got to serve another 3 years.
But
And that's causing all sorts of consternation and monkey house.
yeah, General Fenton, don't get me started, is not the one I'm talking about. This Fenton relieved him. This guy, okay, he cut Special Forces. He cut the program drastically, and he dialed it back so that a woman could pass it on his watch. His big thing was he wanted to be the man in charge of JFK Special Warfare when a woman graduated the Special Forces Q test. He cut it back so far. There was two or three sergeants on cadre at Special Warfare sent a letter protesting. This numbnuts, and I know this for a fact, actually called cadre together, took off his BD or whatever, his uniform shirt, and told him that whoever did it should step forward so they could fight it out.
Yeah. What a wonderful example of leadership that was.
The senior NCO and the senior warrant at JFK did not snatch him down.
Yeah.
So his ass finally got relieved and he got sent. He was pulled out of JFK and sent somewhere else. I don't know where. I don't care where. He failed up. But all of the idiot shit he did to change the pipeline hasn't been undone.
Yeah.
So we're fixing to go into a war where we're going to need our insurgency people, and we don't have any. We've got really well trained door kickers. We don't have well trained teachers, because used to the big thing you had to do in special forces was you had to be able to teach.
Yeah.
Because that's what you were going to do.
Yep.
You were going to go behind the lines and you're going to teach people how to fight and take their country back. They're not able to do that anymore.
Yeah, Rick makes a good point. Enlisted in the Navy, this is true. If you got a specialized skill like a nuke power plant, 6 years, because your training was 2 years long, and you were required 4 years after you completed the training.
Yes.
Same thing for the queer tweets.
Yeah.
2-year school, 4-year commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Aviators, when I commissioned, was 7 years was the minimum time for an aviator.
Yeah. But they are now apparently rewriting the rules.
Yeah. As they go.
Yeah.
The other thing is, they're talking about taking 2 years to complete aviation training. I completed in 13 months. The reason it takes 2 years.
You were flying with the Wright brothers when they got started, and they gave you credit for that.
Yeah. It's because of the pools that you go into.
Mm.
When you graduate from the academy, for example, yeah. Padre says Rangers are meant to be door kickers, not the SF. Yeah, that's true. The
Sontag, Kurt fucking Sontag.
Yeah.
May he roast in hell, was the one that wrecked.
Amanda, it's getting through because Hire can write the rules and force it down everybody's throats, and you can't sue them.
Kurt goddamn Sontag was the general that wrecked Special Forces, and it hadn't recovered yet.
Yeah, Rick, that's causing a quite a loss in the military aviation community, especially the Air Force, where they got the jab, and especially in the fighter community. Because you start pulling G's, and if you're not in perfect physical health, you're not long for this world.
Nope. Well, just as a sideline on that, Southwest Airlines, I am reliably informed by insiders that approximately 25% of their pilots who took the jab had been affected health-wise, to the point that some have had to drop out of aviation altogether. And that's just one airline. If all the majors have got that problem, then it's getting really, really bad. The Air Force, of course, having forced all their pilots to get the jab, and Army aviation too, if that's a similar percentage to what they're finding, it's no wonder they're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, and you add in the problems with the F-22 oxygen system, the F-35 oxygen system, which, oh, by the way, is exactly the same one with the same set of problems.
Sontag.
Y'all are talking like these are things that are these are screw ups. No, these are not screw ups. These are plans. They don't want a military.
Sontag wasn't smart enough to make plans.
He didn't have to be. He just had to follow his boss's rules.
Sontag was the one that if he decided that you were not following the ball game, would have your beret yanked or your pat or
Yeah.
your rocker yanked.
And they were doing that post qualification too.
They were doing it to retired ones.
Yeah.
After the email and the letter came out, and Sontag was put on blast. There were several folks who sounded off publicly support. These folks hadn't been, at least one of them, hadn't been in Special Forces community for 20 years, and Sontag had wanted his pulled.
Didn't that?
His
Oh,
Ranger
yeah,
tab?
that was the
Was that his Ranger tab or his Green Beret?
Green
His,
Beret.
his Special Forces tab.
Wanted him removed from the Green Beret, wanted him removed from the entire community, banned from any Green Beret.
Yep.
Special Forces.
And this
meetings.
guy had been retired 20 years.
Yeah.
Retired honorably. And Sontag had his tab pulled.
And he was a Vietnam vet with a number of decorations for bravery.
I'm afraid I have little confidence at the moment in the leadership of our military in general, and the army in particular. There again, look where the rot starts
Millie.
at the top. Millie, yeah,
Yeah.
Millie.
who
God,
smells-
Millie's a goddamn.
Steve, I'm not sure on that. I'll call somebody that I know and check.
Mm.
He said, read that the FAA expanded the health qualification to allow pilots who got the jab to retain their flight scouts.
Yeah, that has happened. The FAA is doing the same thing to civilian pilots.
Well, the thing is, you can only go so far on a Class 1 medical.
Yeah.
And then they have to stop flying.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, we need to start shooting some senior officers to encourage the rest.
Unfortunately, they probably picked the wrong ones to shoot.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any general that I wouldn't mind seeing put up against the wall.
Yeah.
Well, generals are politicians.
Both. All of
Well,
them
no,
both.
I'm saying generals are politicians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you don't get stars on your shoulder unless you can play the politician. Yeah, that senior generals in particular, lieutenant general and up, they're the danger ones.
What really, really pisses me off is command sergeant majors and senior NCOs
Who are not doing anything. Yeah.
who are not taking their officers behind closed doors and saying, knock this shit off.
Well, of course, the problem is that they are now under officers they don't trust.
Yeah.
So, when you've got an outsider imposed on you, if you can be the world's best sergeant major, but if your officer won't back you up, you are.
But the problem is, Peter, they're covering their asses rather than standing up
It used to
and
be,
doing their job.
it didn't matter if your officer backed you up. The NCO Corps would.
But if you look at Kyle Lamb's book on leadership, which is a very, very good
Yeah.
book, he comments that sometimes he had to take care of things when bad officers didn't. He tried that today, he'd be trick-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The system would kick him out rather than the bad officers, because the system has been corrupted from the top down.
Perfume
Yeah, Padre,
Princess.
it rolls all the way down to 06 now.
Perfume Princess. As a former NCO, I'm ashamed of the NCO Corps. I really am.
Yeah, the other deputy with me at ONR was he was on track to make admiral in the Navy, was an 06 in charge of a special program in the submarine community, which was a very high visibility. And he told the truth in a meeting with the 3 and 4 stars that were in charge of the submarine community. And when he walked out, his boss, who was a 2 stars, told him, said, well, you said what needed to be said, but you just cost yourself a star and you might as well retire. And he went, okay, and put his paperwork in to retire. And they did their best to fuck him over his last year in the military. They were going to put him on a decommissioned submarine and make him ride it from the location where it was down through the Panama Canal to where it was going to be disassembled as punishment because you have to have an OIC on the submarine.
I'm sorry. Let's back up. Does anybody else find high visibility in the submarine service to be a bad idea? I thought subs weren't supposed to be visible.
That was what he was working on.
High visibility. It's a sub.
Yeah.
Okay. Jonna is requesting cheerful for the last few minutes. Happy for the last few minutes. Okay. So happy. Kelly's still above dirt.
Yep. We're all still above dirt.
We're all still above dirt for most.
For versions of above the dirt.
Apparently something highly sensitive. Anyway, Moggies in space. We're still taking. I heard that clear over here.
Yeah.
Moggies in space. We're still expecting stories. Space Marines is live. Please buy the book so that I can stay at hotels that don't have a number in the title. Please.
Congratulations, James. He says the book still has an orange tag. Yes.
Yeah.
Way to go.
James
Egg-
Copley.
Egg retrieval on Sunday. Is Sunday Easter?
No,
No.
so Easter's been passed already.
Egg retrieval is
thought.
for her.
That's the fertility stuff so that she can have a baby because babies are happy. Even if my son does think that they look like a combination of a monkey and Winston Churchill when they're first
You
born.
see, Ian has
Isn't
that little
that-
problem of thinking about eggs and fallopian tubes and
Stop.
stuff like that.
Moving
So,
on.
Kelly's rookie is finding what Amanda needs.
God, I hope not.
If he finds that in Kelly, I'll pay.
God, I hope not. Actually, babies look like aliens and something. They're not quite.
Only for the first day or so until they unfurl, and then they're all pink and pretty.
Unfurled.
Babies are slippery.
Yes, they are.
Having had
nothing-
one slide out of my hands before.
Nothing like bouncing a baby off the back door of the ambulance to engender that confidence in the mother.
Vin says my nephew looks like Yoda.
Well,
but
I've-
not green, we hope.
I've delivered 3 babies as an ambulance volunteer in South Africa. The first one was fun because it was a very large Zulu lady whom we picked up from the townships and were driving into the hospital. And she looked up at me and said, "Oh, the baby, he's coming." I said, "No, he can't come now. We're not at the hospital." Too late. That's a literally catch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's.
She knew what she was doing.
she had half a dozen before,
That's-
so it wasn't anything.
Yeah,
new.
it's
It
I-
was me holding this baby. What do I do next?
I took a look, and the person driving the ambulance, who was actually more experienced than me, which still annoys me to this day.
He obviously thought you needed some experience.
And I got it when I did my examination, and the driver said, "What do you see?" And I said, "Eyebrows, pull over."
yes. Space Marines has a new MCA Hogarth
Yes.
story in it.
Yes.
Maggie Hogarth.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them are going to have Maggie Hogarth stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, buy Space Marines so you can extend the middle finger to the Games Workshop people.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Games Workshop and their idiot ways are the reason that we're doing 2 Space Marine anthologies. Because
spite. It gets
Spite.
stuff
Yeah.
done.
pay me for my spite.
Yes.
More to the point, pay Maggie because Maggie Hogarth has been through some stuff, guys, and she needs some encouragement. And she just recently had
I
some
need to
really
meet Maggie.
she had some personal issues recently. I'm not going to get into them because I don't know how much public she's been, but she really needs encouragement, which means that people reading her stuff and leaving her good reviews will make her feel better.
No,
Yes.
people buying her stuff.
Well, yes, but buying it to read it and leaving
Yeah.
reviews.
Make sure Maggie Hogarth doesn't have to stay at Motel 6.
Yeah.
Buy
Oh,
that
Lord.
book.
She is a sweet little lady. You do not make her to stay at Motel 6.
Well, there's another anthology for you. Tales written at Motel 6.
No.
Yeah.
We can't use Motel 6.
Oh,
Motel 666, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Motel 7.5.
Motel 5 at 9.99.
Yeah, actually, we're doing the
Motel 6. That'll
we're doing the anthology. The man was dead when I got there. Will involve motels and hotels.
Yes.
Yeah, leave reviews.
But by the way, you know that Dot's latest has involved a Lieutenant Spurgle.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yes,
Yes.
that was fun.
Is he incompetent?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
To a degree I would not have believed possible until I read it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, Carlton. Daughters, when they come out, do have the death stare immediately.
Yeah. It's,
Babies are just generally
And
unamused
you know
at
the
this
worst
cold,
of it?
hard world.
Yeah.
And they look up at you with this innocent little smile and they projectile poop all over you.
Yeah.
Yes, they do that.
And then they start laughing at you.
Model 3.14 you can check out, but you can never leave.
oh, bad,
Oh,
bad, bad.
oh.
So, buy Space Marines, so that I don't have to stay at Motel 6 ever again.
Hell, buy all of our books, damn
yeah,
it.
buy all of the books. Hell yeah,
And
buy
if
all the
you've
books.
already bought them, please leave reviews.
Leave
Yes.
reviews, not just
Because-
stars.
Right,
Yes.
not just stars, because we've got these nonsensical 1 and 2 star ratings that don't even give us anything useful. Like if there was an actual problem that we needed to know about, but no, they're
Yeah.
just random, anonymous.
Unless you're buying Kelly's books, and then you can leave reviews like "Stay above the dirt."
Yeah.
Tell us next time. You know, the standard reviews.
Yeah.
Buy all Cedar's books, even if you're already on them, because Daddy needs new cheese.
I need to get 26 more reviews on Nothing But Time to hit 100 reviews.
Okay,
You got 74.
Yeah.
Well
that
done.
gives us a metric to shoot for.
Yeah. And that is still selling strongly,
Excellent.
which makes me happy because that's a revenge book.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of revenge books these days.
Yeah.
Well, it's the best kind of revenge.
The spite books.
Yeah.
Yes,
Spite books sell.
Yes.
People like reading them.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
and
that's-
the other one, Larry and Steve Diamond's latest podcast is up, and it's interesting,
Is it?
especially for Jack's bumper out.
Oh,
What? Oh,
The end of the
Mhm.
podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Go listen to it.
oh.
It's worth it.
So I've got 5 spite books in the pipeline. Space Marines 1 and Space Marines 2, both spite books, because Games Workshop can go eat a dick. The 3 of the Spurgle series, they're all spite books. And
And I got a silicon candy mold, and I have thoughts about using some of that claminaise to make Spurgle dicks.
It's right there.
I know. I'm looking at it.
Not in
Claminaise.
our house, not in our kitchen place.
James, 100 is the break point for Amazon. So once it gets more than 100 reviews or now ratings combined, That's when
your
they start
algorithm
pushing it.
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can always do Amazon ads too, which helps to some extent.
yeah.
But yeah, we haven't got that far yet.
So we've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Oh, we have.
Yeah. Claminaise gelatin. No,
Man,
Wally.
if I could put a flashbang in a jar of claminaise and do a drive-by claminaise flashbanging,
You can do a flashing, but not a flashbang.
just blow claminaise all over somebody.
Oh, remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Spooge.
Stay warm. Stay warm.
Y'all be
I was
safe.
going to say stay clean, but never mind. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. Bye.
Y'all be safe.